Hook intro, 600 words. She smiled. Not a nervous smile, not a fleeting smile, but a calm, practiced one, as if she'd been waiting her whole life to play this role. On June 4, 2008, a 30-year-old man named Travis Alexander was found brutally murdered inside his Mesa, Arizona home. His throat was slashed from ear to ear. He had been stabbed nearly 30 times, and he had been shot in the head. The crime was so violent, so frenzied, that detectives initially thought it looked like something out of a horror film. But when the prime suspect appeared in court, the world wasn't prepared for what they saw. A young woman who claimed to be innocent but whose behavior, calm, smiling, and at times flirtatious, didn't match the horror of the crime she was accused of. Her name was Jodi Arias. To the media, she became the femme fatale, the beautiful killer who could seduce and destroy. To prosecutors, she was a calculating murderer who couldn't accept rejection. But to understand this case, and the smile that shocked the courtroom, we need to go back. Back to the beginning, to the lives of Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander, and the twisted relationship that led to one of the most infamous trials in American history. This is Dark Minds, and tonight, we tell the story of the killer who smiled in court. Background and victim profile. 500 words. Travis Alexander was born in Riverside, California, in 1977. His childhood was difficult, marked by instability, neglect, and poverty. His parents struggled with substance abuse, and Travis often relied on his grandmother for care. But against the odds, he grew into a charismatic, driven young man. By his early 20s, Travis had become a motivational speaker and salesman for a multi-level marketing company. He was outgoing, ambitious, and deeply rooted in his Mormon faith. Friends described him as someone who lit up every room he entered. Behind that smile was a man determined to build the stable life he never had as a child. In 2006, Travis attended a work conference where he met a striking young woman, Jodi Arias. She was 4 years younger than him, with long blonde hair, sharp features, and piercing eyes. Jodi, at the time, was working as a photographer. The connection between them was instant. Within hours of meeting, Jodi and Travis were inseparable at the event. But what began as an intoxicating romance quickly spiraled into something darker. Friends of Travis would later say that Jodi became obsessed. She converted to Mormonism to please him, she moved closer to him, and she inserted herself into his life in ways that worried those around him. What Travis didn't know was that this love story was heading toward tragedy. The crime. 900 words. On June 9, 2008, friends of Travis Alexander grew concerned. He had missed important work meetings and was not responding to calls. Worried, a group of friends went to his Mesa, Arizona home. What they discovered was horrific. In his master bathroom, Travis's lifeless body was found crumpled in the shower. Blood covered the walls, the floor, and the sink. The autopsy revealed shocking details: 27 to 29 stab wounds. His throat slit so deeply it nearly decapitated him. A single gunshot wound to the head. This was not just a murder. It was overkill, rage, and obsession written in blood. Detectives immediately considered Jodi Arias a suspect. But when they called her, she acted calm, cooperative, even helpful. She claimed she hadn't seen Travis in weeks. She even told police she hoped they found whoever did this. But detectives were about to discover evidence that told a very different story. The investigation. 1,000 words. The crime scene was chaotic, but it also contained critical clues. In the washing machine, police found a digital camera. Though damaged by water, technicians recovered its memory card. What they found stunned investigators. Photos showed Jodi and Travis together on June 4, the very day of the murder. Some photos were intimate, but others were chilling. One image captured Travis in the shower, looking straight at the camera. Minutes later, the final photo showed a blurred image of Travis's bleeding body. When confronted, Jodi changed her story. At first, she denied being there. Then, she admitted she was at Travis's house, but claimed masked intruders had broken in and killed him. Later, she told yet another version. She had killed Travis, but in self-defense. Detectives also learned of Jodi's disturbing behavior. She had slashed Travis's tires. She had spied on him through windows. She had broken into his home without permission. Friends warned Travis that Jodi was dangerous, but he struggled to cut ties. By 2008, the evidence was overwhelming. Jodi Arias was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. The trial 800 words in 2013. After years of delays, Jodi Arias stood trial in Phoenix, Arizona. The prosecution painted her as a jealous, manipulative woman who couldn't handle rejection. They argued she had planned the murder after learning Travis wanted to move on without her. The defense countered by portraying Travis as controlling and abusive. They claimed Jodi had killed him in a fight, in self-defense. But it wasn't just the testimony that captured headlines, it was Jodi herself. Throughout the trial, cameras captured her unusual demeanor. She smiled, she laughed, she flirted with her defense attorney. To the jury and the world, it seemed surreal, a woman accused of one of the most brutal murders imaginable behaving as if she were at a casual gathering. Then came the evidence, the photos. The jury saw the sequence of images from that fateful day. They heard Jodi's changing stories. They listened to experts who described the sheer brutality of the attack. After months of testimony, the jury found Jodi Arias guilty of first-degree murder. Aftermath and sentencing. 500 words during sentencing, the prosecution pushed for the death penalty. The jury, however, could not reach a unanimous decision. Instead, Jodi was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The case left the nation divided. Some saw Jodi as a cold-blooded killer who deserved the harshest punishment. Others believed the defense's claims of abuse clouded the full truth. For Travis's family, however, the verdict was a bittersweet end. They had justice, but it could never bring him back. Reflection and closing. CTA 250 words. The story of Jodi Arias is not just about murder. It's about obsession, about control, about the fine line between love and destruction. To this day, her smile in that courtroom remains one of the most haunting images in modern true crime. Do you believe Jodi Arias planned this killing in cold blood? Or do you think there was more to the story? Let us know in the comments. And if this story moved you, hit that like button, share it with someone who follows true crime, and subscribe to Dark Minds, where every story hides a darker truth.